Today on The Pulse, there's an all-out war on cyber criminals. Are you ready for combat? Plus, 2018 is just over that hill, so don't wait for success to come to you. You have to go get it. The first order of business, a real, live success story right here in this studio. So go get a pad and pencil because you're going to need to take some notes. Let's rock and roll. Calling all entrepreneurs. It's Economic Development Week in Prince George's County. The only show in town dedicated to helping Prince George's County businesses. Hello, I'm Denise Roberts and welcome to The Pulse, the show that's all about helping Prince George's County businesses. If you haven't heard, the word on the street is Small Business Saturday is November 25th, and shoppers are encouraged to shop small and shop local on this day. Small Business Saturday was started in 2010 as a way to help support local businesses. So get out there and shop Prince George's County. The Microsoft Store says small businesses have a positive outlook for business growth in 2018. The company polled 1,300 U.S. small businesses and found that 90% of small businesses plan to hire 1 to 2 new employees in 2018, depending on their budgets. 37% will introduce new products and services. 35% will execute new marketing strategies, 34% will give back to the community, and 19% will partner with other small businesses. On the flip side, the report also shows that small businesses feel underprepared for cybersecurity threats. With 43% of cyber attacks happening to small businesses, 50% are not concerned about data breach, and 25% say they are not doing anything to protect themselves. Don't go away, because we'll be right back.
Talking to veterans about the real issues they're dealing with can be uncomfortable. But when their behavior changes, it's time to act. Call the Veterans Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255 and press 1.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Prince George's County has its fair share of entrepreneurial success stories, and I'm excited to have one of them here with me in the studio today. Jayson Williams, President and CEO of Mayson-Dixon Strategic Consulting, in a matter of 2 years was able to start his firm and grow it to 2 office locations and 19 full-time employees. Jayson, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Denise. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, 19 employees, 2 offices, you're a job creator in the county.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It doesn't come, it's not easy. It's actually, stressful many days, but it's fun. I love what I do. I love going to work every day, and, even when I have to wake up at 3 a.m. Okay,
so what does Mayson-Dixon do?
Sure. So Mayson-Dixon, we are a strategic communications, fundraising, and government affairs firm. So we actually do everything to help businesses, nonprofits, and elected officials tell their stories better to achieve their mission. So we're really great storytellers, and I built the business from actually multiple small businesses. We actually became bigger together.
Okay.
So we got organized and said, I'm great at marketing communications, but Monica Bisco would be fantastic to lead our marketing communications team. We have strategic communications, so we acquired a direct mail firm called True Blue Politics. We wanted to be able to offer video and photography services, so I was able to get Chris Valentine come on board. So each piece allows us to be able to be a full-service public affairs firm for any of our clients.
So you brought together already established entrepreneurs to create one company.
Yeah, and it's the bigger together model. I saw that we were all fighting over similar pots, and I said, well, what if we worked together and became a stronger team so we could deliver a better service? And it really worked. You had a lot of great ideas, and I don't claim to know everything, so it's nice to have really smart professionals around me that are masters in their fields.
Okay. It's one thing to start a business, but it is another thing to keep it going and maintain it. How do you do that?
Well, first of all, I think people need to remember to maintain themselves. The toughest thing about being an entrepreneur is that you feel like it's all on you. You know, I've been lucky enough to have great mentors, so I talk to them all the time. You have to reevaluate yourself a lot. Every quarter, I bring my entire team together with some of our mentors, and we do a quick day retreat to say what we've done well and what we want to do better in the next quarter. It keeps you focused. So Mayson-Dixon keeps kind of reinventing and growing itself every quarter. We're about to have our big one at the end of the year where I'm bringing the entire team together for a day. So.
Okay. What are some of the do's and don'ts that you've experienced that you could tell small business owners or advise them?
You know, when you're getting started, you know, you just want to get that first contract. So, you know, something I made a mistake on is I sold myself short. You know, knowing your worth is something really important, knowing how much of your time actually goes into it, because trust me, once you do something well for someone and you've set yourself at a lower salary, you know, they want you to do that. And if you ask for more, they expect you to do twice as much, even though you're putting your all into it. You know, I actually ended up with some really great clients early on, and you know, later I realized how much work went into it and how many hours of my week that I really sold myself short. But also, don't overpromise.
Okay.
You know, a lot of businesses, you want to please your client. You want them to be excited about working with you, but often what will happen is that you'll say, "Oh, I can do everything," and you know, you need to be able to know, hey, everyone has limits. You want to be able to say that you can do it all, but sometimes you need to be able to say, give clear expectations and communicate well. That's the biggest thing I've run into with clients, is that they want to have an understanding of what's happening, and they want clear communication. I think that's something that people miss, making sure the client knows what you're up to. And you know, the true part of my success is actually the people around me. My team members are some of the most amazing people that I've had the pleasure of working with, and I invest in them. 2 days ago, I signed giving everyone healthcare, vision, and dental benefits.
Wow.
So it's very exciting, you know,
Yeah.
that everyone was really excited about it, but I want to keep them. And knowing when to invest in your team, you know, because they're excited, you know, and they come to work feeling happier. It makes for a happier client. You know, it makes my life easier to know that they're taken care of, and you know, it's the right thing to do.
So what was your process from starting to now?
Well, what's funny is that when I first got started, I started thinking about it while I was at economic development in Prince George's County. I was helping tons of businesses all over the county kind of sell themselves better, not just here in Prince George's County, but elsewhere, so they could grow their business. You know, when I created Mayson-Dixon, I basically just took that same model and put it into a business form, and now we're helping a lot of different companies, from nonprofits are businesses too, a lot of people don't think of them that way, helping them better sell themselves, helping corporations get better organized and tell their story a lot better. And then also, you know, I love my work with politics. I've been working in political campaigns for my career, and within Mayson-Dixon, we create many campaigns for people. A lot of people don't think about it, but you're always running a campaign, you know, to get that next RFP, to get something approved through the process, to raise that next dollar. There are many campaigns, so we structure them for people, and we put marketing communications around it. And it's something that my dad used to say to me. My dad was a cab driver in Baltimore City for 35 years.
Wow.
He used to make me ride around with him when I was bad and talk to people.
Okay.
And what was exciting about that, though, is that he would say something that I didn't quite get until later in life. People give to people more than people give to causes. Be the person, not the cause. It's about your relationship. It's about your story. So I tell that story all the time about how my dad got me engaged. Businesses, nonprofits, elected officials, they're all trying to tell a story, and you know, the better you are at that and using all of the different methods of storytelling out there, that's something my company's been really good at, and that's why we've grown.
What are the different methods or components of telling a story? How do you do that?
You can do all kinds of things, but one thing I like to is really to find out about the client. One of our clients had a big issue in a community, and you know, the client, like, they just weren't connecting with the community very well. So I sat down and talked to the president and CEO, and I said, "Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?" "Oh, I grew up in Frederick." I was like, "Oh, you grew up in Frederick?" "Oh, I grew up on a farm." I was like, "Oh, okay, so did you start the company?" "Actually, I started the company as an intern." So I took his marketing materials and said, "You rose from intern to president of the company." That's the story we should be telling the community. You got to figure out a way to connect with people. The second we started telling about the president of the company and their motivation, the community came around. They became a real person and not just a project.
Okay.
And you know, that's what, going back to what my dad said, people give to people. People want to connect, and that's what we really try to help people do.
Okay, okay. What do you think is the secret to be, you know what, before I go to that, what kind of mindset do you have to run your own business?
You know, some people say you gotta just be just a little crazy, but no, you have to be focused. You have to be willing to work the late hours. You know, like I tell my team, you know, you don't get the 11 o'clock client call when the client is having an issue. I get that. You have to be willing that you're 24/7. You know, we're in a consulting firm, so we're a service. So you have to be willing to take the next step. You've got to be always trying to be one step ahead. But to what I said earlier, you've got to maintain yourself. You've got to have good mentors. You have to have good outlets. You know, I run, I play video games to just relax, you know, but it's important to figure out those things because, you know, you feel, when you're CEO of a company, you feel very alone sometimes because you're worried about, you know, payroll, you're worried about the next contract, and it's just important to figure out ways to calm and center yourself. One of my mentors said, you know, when you feel stressed out, just get one thing off your plate. You know, you might have 50 things to do that day. Just do one thing, and trust me, you'll feel better about it. And I started thinking that way, and he was absolutely right. I would get so stressed out by having so much on my plate. Just one thing at a time. And that's been what has made it successful to understand that.
Okay. If anyone wanted to find out more information about your company or your services, where do you tell them to go?
I used to tell them to go to our website, but you know, I have to give it to Monica. She actually used to work for Economic Development in Prince George's County, and Chris Valentine also used to work for Economic Development. I'm sure Jim Coleman, the president of Economic Development Corporation, was really happy when I took two of his top communications people. But you know, we get a lot of our information out through our social media, our website, Mayson-Dixon.com, Mayson with a Y, you know, just like Jayson with a Y in my name.
Okay.
We get a lot of that information out, and I actually have not spent very much money on marketing. You'd be surprised the power of social media, and it's just a cheap and easy marketing tool. And you know, we're going to ramp that up. We're rolling out with a new website soon, so I'm really excited about that.
And you heard it there, social media, cheap and free sometimes.
Sometimes.
Jayson, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I really appreciate it, Denise.
All right. Don't go away because we've got some important things that you need to know. But before we go to break, congratulations to our newest Small Biz Club member of the month, Terry Speigner, another job creator in the county, is owner of a technology consulting firm specializing in networking, security, relocation, and hosting in Atlanta, Maryland. So get ready. Engine, you're on.
Engine is one of the leading information technology management companies in North America, and we're sitting right here in the heart of Prince George's County. We spend a lot of time on the front end of our customers' engagements, understanding their business, understanding how their business relies on IT, how IT can enhance their business process, and then we implement it in the best practice way that industry says it should be done. If a customer is not happy with you and satisfied with you, they can find any other IT company to support their needs. So we believe that more than 50% of every customer engagement is giving them quality customer service first, making them feel comfortable that you understand their issue, you feel their concern, you understand their frustration, you feel their pain, and that you're going to resolve the issue so that they can get back to productivity, getting their job done, the thing that's most important to them and their company. I would say to an entrepreneur that just like pop culture changes, so does business. You got to be able to change with the times. Getting laid off in 2001 at the height of what I consider to be my corporate career, that made me determine and decide that it's time for me to do my own thing. That was my pivotal moment. Within the last year or so, industry has come to us to elevate us for the things that we've done. Everything we're doing, people are noticing, and those are things that we can't do without our great staff.
This is how you say, "It's going to be okay," to someone who just lost everything. Every 8 minutes, the Red Cross responds to a disaster and makes this promise: help us keep it.
Success doesn't happen overnight, but you can get there. You just have to work for it. There's a long road you must travel, and along the way, you have to try, and try again, because it is a process. Investopedia.com gives us a few success tips for you to keep in mind along the way. Number 1, all successful businesses keep detailed records. By doing so, you'll know where the business stands financially and what potential challenges you could be facing. Just knowing this gives you time to create strategies to overcome those challenges. Number 2, competition breeds the best results. To be successful, you can't be afraid to study and learn from your competitors. After all, they may be doing something right that you can implement in your business to make more money. Next, understanding risks and rewards. The key to being successful is taking calculated risks to help your business grow. However, knowing the downside can prepare you for the worst case scenario. This knowledge will allow you to take the kinds of calculated risks that can generate tremendous rewards. Number 4, get creative. Always be looking for ways to improve your business and to make it stand out from the competition. Recognize that you don't know everything and be open to new ideas and new approaches to your business. And finally, stay focused. You know that old saying that Rome was not built in a day? Well, it applies here. Just because you open a business doesn't mean you're going to immediately start making money. It takes time to let people know who you are, so stay focused on achieving your short-term goals. Stay right there because we'll be right back.
My dad was in the Air Force for 26 years. When I was applying for scholarships, we came across Thanks USA, which helps military children earn scholarships towards whatever university they want.
Education gives you the chance to find the nexus between your unique passions and gifts and the needs of the world around you.
You realize that ripple effect, that you give them an education and they're going to take it and run.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Small business owners, listen up. Just as the continually evolving digital age presents boundless opportunities for businesses and the people who run them, it also presents a whole world of threats that we must be ready for. Listen, I don't know if you heard about Equifax, but if a major credit bureau, the Uncle Sam's of our ability to get a credit card, can be breached, don't you think your small business can too? Well, my next guest, also a Small Business Club Member of the Month, is Terry Speigner, President and CEO of Engine. Terry, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Denise, thank you for the invite.
So, you've been on before to talk about cybersecurity. Can you tell us again, what is cybersecurity? What's the purpose of it?
Cybersecurity is essentially a fancy term that means protecting yourself from cyber criminals or bad actors or folks who are trying to separate you from your corporate resources, separate you from your money, and separate you from your intellectual property.
Okay, so what's new out here in the cyber world that small businesses need to be aware of?
Well, small businesses really need to be aware that with ransomware, that's a new cyber thing that's happening where your data is being encrypted and then you have to either pay a ransom to get it unencrypted or to restore your data from backups. So small businesses really need to know that one of the best protections they can do is make sure your data backups are current and that they're happening routinely so that you can recover from one of these types of ransomware attacks when it hits. It's not a matter of if, it's when it hits you.
So is that what happened to Equifax?
No, what happened to Equifax is that they didn't update their systems, the operating systems and the applications when patches came out that were produced to fill gaps and holes in the applications they were using. So a major patch came out, I think it was in March or February or March of this year, for an application they were using for their website, and they didn't apply that patch. And once that patch came out, that also tells the cyber criminals or hackers that whoever's using it unpatched, there's now a back door in the hole, and that's how Equifax got compromised.
Okay. What do you do when you get breached?
What do you do when you get breached? If you're a small business, the first thing you have to do is, if you are hosting any data for customers where it's private information for that customer. Maybe it's medical records, maybe it's personal identifiable information. You need to call the authorities to let them know that you've been breached. You need to make sure that you have cyber insurance, cybersecurity insurance, so that you can mitigate the financial loss to yourself as you go through and remediate the breach itself or fix the breach itself.
And the financial loss means that they can be
major.
sued?
They can be sued by their customers. They can be sued by their employees. Because every company has HR records, which means an employee social security number. It may have the employee's health information or records. It's called personal identifiable information. So employees can sue employers if their information gets violated and put out into the public.
And I keep going back to Equifax because these are the very people that say whether or not I can get credit. What should I do now that that took place?
What is highly recommended that people do is to put what we call a freeze on their credit reports through all three bureaus. And what does a freeze mean? A freeze means that you call up those credit bureaus, communicate with them and say, put my credit file on freeze, which means no one can get credit, new credit, in my name unless I'm contacted to unfreeze my account. So then we call it thawing and unthawing your account, where you now have the control of when credit comes, someone runs a credit report on you or tries to get an application or credit in your name. If your account is frozen, they can't do it.
So it's almost, is that also protecting it from myself? Does that mean that if I wanted to apply, I would have to call them to unfreeze it as well?
That is correct. And you can unfreeze it or unthaw it for 24 hours, 48 hours, or whatever period of time you need to go and get your own credit.
So to unthaw it, you have to call all three credit bureaus?
Pretty much.
That's a lot of work.
But all three operate independently from each other. And some credit, some organizations only use TransUnion, some only use Equifax, some only use Experian, some will use, the best scores out of the three. But no, all companies that give you credit to buy things don't necessarily use one or the other all the time.
Okay. What should a small business do or put in place to protect themselves from becoming a victim of cyber crime?
They have to do what we call layers of protection. The very first thing, if you're a small business and you're connected to the internet, which 99.9% of businesses are connected to the internet, you have to have a firewall, but that's just one layer of protection. Then you have to have endpoint security, which we call antivirus, anti-spam, things that are on the actual computers that you and your employees use. You have to have a very good, robust password policy for your employees. We're now getting away from doing what we call complex passwords as being the safest passwords to going to the length of the password. The longer the password, typically 12 or more characters, the harder it is to crack that password. Specifically in businesses, and everybody should know this, that there are two pieces to being able to log on to any environment. There's the username, and then there's the password. You give everyone your username every time you send them an email. First initial, last name at somecompany.com, or last name, first initial at somecompany.com. Well, that's half of your credential right there, is your username. Only thing the hacker has to do now is figure out what your password is. So it's also a good practice for companies to add what we call two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, which if folks use social media, they're accustomed to this. You put in your username, you put in your password, then you're sent a code to your cell phone that you also have to enter. That is one of the better ways to protect yourself, is adding that additional factor of authentication.
Are there some things they can put in place in the short term, like if they're, because all of this costs money.
Yes.
Right? So are there some things that they can do on the short term side, versus the long term, pieces that you put in place?
Yes, the most inexpensive thing to do is to make sure that your password is a good, strong password, and it's long, at least 12 or to 14 or more characters.
Okay.
I would do that first because that doesn't cost you anything.
Okay.
The other thing I would do, and we highly recommend that our customers do, is get cyber insurance for your business insurance. Add that to your business insurance. Again, it's not a matter of when you're going to get hacked or when you're going to get compromised. It's just going to happen, and you have to be ready for that.
Terry, if people wanted to know more information, how could they get in contact with you?
They can always contact us via our website at www.ngen.com, which is engine. Or they can call our office, 301-531-9700. And we highly recommend that you research us. We've been around 25 years. We're considered one of the best IT companies in North America. And we do this for a living. We protect companies. We are their outsourced IT department, and we assist them to make sure that they can do their business, but that they're also protected from cyber criminals and hackers.
Okay, Terry Speigner, thank you very much for coming back.
Thank you.
Okay. Stay right there because we'll be right back.
Noises like that used to make me hit the deck. But now, I can keep going.
Don't get me wrong, I still don't love crowded places, but it's good to get out again.
Transitioning from the military can be tough, but many veterans are facing similar challenges. Visit MakeTheConnection.net to watch our stories and learn ways to create the story you want to live. Make the Connection.
Well, it's the end of the year and 2018 will soon be here. And so will tax season. You want to know why I get so excited about taxes every show? Because I want you to get ready ahead of time. You know why? Because when it comes to taxes, Uncle Sam isn't necessarily your friend. So get a jump on next year now with this week's top small business tax saving tips, courtesy of thebalance.com. First, review your reports. Knowing your financials from the past year is vital for your goal-setting process, and it ensures your books are up to date and accurate. Number 2, defer income. Ask your accountant if it makes sense to defer December payments until January to cut your tax bill income. Any income received by December 31st counts as income for the current year. Shifting income to January 1 delays it from being counted as income until the following year, which can save you a lot of money depending on where your income levels are each year. Number 3, run an inventory check. If there has been a drop in market value of your inventory, you may be able to claim additional deductions. This depends on your accounting methods, so make sure you check with your accountant to see if this makes sense for your small business. And finally, go shopping! For your business, of course. Now is the time to spend money on items that your business needs so you can maximize deductions. You can upgrade equipment, stock up on office supplies, or even make some early vendor payments. So make a list and check it twice. Hopefully these tips will make you a little more organized so that next year will be a breeze. And that's our show for today. I want to thank all my guests, Jayson Williams and Terry Speigner. This show and previous episodes are posted on our website. It's diversity.mypgc.us, and click on the Pulse. We are on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram too at PGC Diversity, and our YouTube channel is The Pulse TV. Come join our Small Business Club for a chance to showcase your business on this show. Send an email with the link to your company website to sddd@co.pg.md.us. You can also see your business on this show by taking a selfie. That's right, a picture of you and your business, and it has to be a selfie. Send it to us on Twitter at PGC Diversity, and be sure to use the hashtag #SelfieOnThePulse. I'm Denise Roberts, and remember, in Prince George's County, your success is our success.